just solve some questions based on finding the inverse of certain functions. Okay, and the and questions based on the property of inverse functions. Right. So let's start with the question. Let's start the question. The first question is if yeah, the first question is if f of x equals to ax square plus b whole cube, then find the function. Then find the function which satisfies. Okay, the function is given as fx is equals to x square plus b whole cube. Then you have to find a function which satisfies the following. Find a function g which satisfies. Find the function g which satisfies the following: f of g of x is equals to chala. Is equals to g of f of x. Okay, so to find a function g which satisfies the following property. Okay, find it. So if you remember, this is the condition. If the function composite function f of g of x is equals to g of f of x, then this will be the condition for inverse function. So that means g is the inverse of f. So you have to find the inverse of f. Find the inverse of f. After I'll give you some time, then I'll solve the question. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to find the inverse of function. So the method to find the inverse of function is simple. So what we'll do, we'll take y is equals to ax square plus b whole cube. Okay, then what I'll do, I'll take the cube root of y. So this will be y to the power 1 by 3 is equals to ax square plus b. Okay, and if I'll take b this side, so this will be y to the power 1 by 3 minus b is equals to ax square. If I divide with a, so this will become x square is equals to y to the power 1 by 3 minus b by a. Okay, now I'll take square root of both sides. So this is x is equals to under root of y to the power 1 by 3 minus b by a. So what is this? This is the function x in terms of y. This is x in terms of sorry. Okay, so this is x in terms of y. So what I'll do, I'll write x as y and y as x. So this will become y is equals to under the root of x to the power 1 by 3 minus b by e. Okay, so this is that function. This is that function g of x. So this is g of x, which is basically the inverse of function f of x. This g of x can also be written as f inverse of x. Okay, just check this thing and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Right? Next question is, if f of x is equals to 3x minus 2 and GOF inverse is equals to G of inverse is equals to x minus 2. GOF inverse is x minus 2. Then find the function. Then find the function. Then find the function g of x. Okay. So for this one, if you remember the first day of inverse function, when I gave you the properties of inverse function, I told you that if it is given as GOF inverse will be equals to F inverse of G inverse. GOF inverse will be equals to F inverse of G inverse. Okay, so this is the question based on the same property. GOF inverse is equals to F inverse of G inverse. Try to solve this one. I'll give it some time, then I'll solve this. So what is given? This part is given. You have to find this part. You have to use this part to find G. You have to use this part to find G. Okay, so let's solve this one. So what they have given is, they have given that GOF inverse is x minus 2 and they have given f of x is 3x minus 2. Okay, so basically we have given that GOF inverse is x minus 2. And what is GOF? GOF nothing but f inverse of G inverse of x. Okay, so what we can do, we can find first, this is already given, we can find first f inverse. What is f inverse? Fx is given as, f of x is given as 3x minus 2. So f inverse, I can write this as y is equals to 3x minus 2. So this will become, 2 I will take that side. So this is y plus 2 is equals to 3x. So x is equals to y plus 2 by 3. Okay. So the function I can write in the form of, so this I will write as y and this I will write as x. So this will become y is equals to x plus 2 by 3. What is this? This is nothing but f inverse of x. This is f inverse of x. Okay, so f inverse of x. Now what we have to do? We have to place f inverse of G inverse of x. We have to place, instead of x of f inverse, we have to place G inverse x. So here instead of x, what will I write? I will write G inverse x. So this is nothing but G inverse of x plus 2 by 3. Instead of x, I will substitute G inverse x. But this is f inverse x. So f inverse of G inverse x will be, instead of x, instead of this x, I will substitute G inverse x, because instead of this x, here I have now G inverse x. Understood? Because I have x and G inverse x, so instead of x, I will substitute G inverse of x. Okay, and this they have already given. Equals to what they've given. This part is equals to x minus 2. So this is x minus 2. So that means G inverse of x plus 2 is equals to 3x minus 6. 3 multiplied here, so this will be 3x minus 6. So that means G inverse of x is equals to 3x minus 8. I will take to this side. So this is G inverse of x. This is G inverse of x. But what have they asked us to find? They have asked us to find G of x. Okay. So just check till here. What we have got. And then after this, I think it will be very simple for you to find. If you have got G inverse of X, I can find the inverse of this. Inverse of G inverse X will be G of X. Okay. So from this, I can definitely find G of X. First you check till here, then we'll solve the remaining part. Understood? Till here everything is fine? Okay. So let's see. So this is, they have given G inverse of X is 3x minus 8. From here, what I have to find? I have to find G of X. So what I can take? I can take this is equals to y. To find the inverse of any function, I can take this is equals to 5, and I can write y in term x in terms of y. So this will be 3x minus 8 equals to y. So this is 3x is equals to y plus 8. So this is x is equals to y plus 8 by 3. Okay. So if I have got this as x in terms of y, now instead of x, what will I write? Instead of x, I will write y, and instead of y, I will simply substitute x. Instead of x, I will write y, and instead of y, I will write x. So this will become y is equals to x plus 8 by 3. And what is this? This is equals to g. Understood? So this is the answer. Okay, just check this one. This was the original question. This was the original question. First you check this. Already you have checked. Fine. And then after this, the last part. This was the last part. And then we have just simply found the inverse of G inverse of X. So inverse of G inverse of X will be, so G inverse of X, inverse will be nothing but G of X, because this will be G of X. Understood? Fine. Okay. Let's solve. Let's write down one more question. Okay. Let's solve. Another question. Now this is a question based on graph. This is a question based on graph. So the question given is that the graph, this is these are x and y axis. So the graph given is something like this. This is 1 and this is 2. Okay, and then 3 and so on. So this is the graph. Okay, so the question given is the graph shown is of f of x is equals to under the root of 2x plus, sorry, under the root of 2x minus 3. So this is the graph of under the root of 2x minus 3. It will be positive, so everything will be above y-axis. This is the graph of given as fx is equals to 2x minus 3. Okay, so the parts are, first is sketch the graph of inverse of f of x. First thing is you have to draw the graph of inverse of x. First you have to draw the graph. And second is find the inverse function. Find the inverse function and check whether the graph tallies with the function got. So first you have to do is you have to draw the graph. You have to draw the graph of inverse. This is the graph already given. So second is this is 2. This is 1. Suppose 2. So this point is 1, 2, and then we have one more point 6, and we have 3. Suppose this is 3. So they have given us one more point. This point is 6 comma 3, and this point is 2 comma 1. Okay, so 2 points are given. So first you have to draw the graph, and then you have to find the actual function, find the actual inverse, and you have to check whether the graph tallies with the function or not. This is 6 comma 3. Okay, and this point is 2 comma 1. Okay, 2 points are given, 6 comma 3, 2 comma 1. You have to draw the graph first, then find the function, and then just tally with the function whether the graph you obtained is exactly what we should have got by drawing the actual inverse. Okay, so let's try to solve the question. So basically they have already given us the graph. So first let's find the inverse function using the graph. Let's find the inverse function using the graph, or plot the inverse of the graph already given to us. Okay, so first let's see. Suppose these are x and y axis, x axis and y axis. Okay, and what I'll do, I'll first draw the line y is equals to x. Suppose this is the line y is equals to x. This is the line y is equals to x. Okay, this is the line y is equals to x. So whatever function I have, the inverse of that function will be the mirror image about this line. Will be the mirror image about this line. The function which has been given to us is something like this. The function which has been given to us is something like this. I think this was 1.5 comma 0. This was 1.5 comma 0. Okay. 1 point was 1 comma 2. Sorry. 1 point was 2 comma 1. 1 point was 2 comma 1. Okay. The other point was 6 comma 3. 6 comma 3. So 1 point was 1.5 comma 0. Other point was 2 comma 1. And another point was 6 comma 3. So whatever reflection I will have for this point, whatever reflection I have for this point in the line y is equals to x. So what I can take these 3 points. I can take these 3 points. I can find the reflection. So this point, when I'll reflect, will lie on y-axis. So this point will be 0 comma 1.5. The reflection of this point will be 0 comma 1.5. The reflection of this point will be somewhere here. This point will be 2 comma 1. This point is 2 comma 1. So the reflection will be 1 comma 2. So 1 comma 2 will be somewhere here. So this point is 1 comma 2. Because this is 2 comma 1, reflection will be 1 comma 2. And third one is 6, 3. So the reflection of this point will be 3, 6. The reflection of this point will be 3, 6 above the line y is equals to x. If I try to connect these 3 points, the graph will become something like this. Okay, so actually whatever I am having here, this should be the mirror image of the graph of this about the line y is equals to x. Okay, so if this graph is this, the mirror image will be something like this. The mirror image will be something like this. And these points I can find. We have been given 3 points. We can just take the mirror image and we can plot a proximate graph. Okay, so this was the graphical approach. They have asked us to find the graph first. Then what we'll do, we'll actually find the inverse of the function which we have. We'll actually find the inverse of the function which we have. Understood? Now let's find the inverse of the function. The function given was, I'll solve here. The function given was, the function given was y is equals to under root of 2x minus 3. The function given was y is equals to under root of 2x minus 3. So if I had to find the inverse, I will square both sides. So if I square both sides, this will become y square is equals to 2x minus 3. Okay, I'll take 3 this side. So this will become y square plus 3 is equals to 2x. Y square plus 3 is equals to 2x. And if I take 2 this side, so this will become x is equals to y square plus 3 by 2. Okay, this will become x is equals to y square plus 3 by 2. This is okay. If this is y square is equals to 3 by 2, now what I will do? I will change x as y and I will change y as x. I will change x as y and I will change y as x. So this will become y is equals to x square plus 3 by 2. Y is equals to x square plus 3 by 2. Okay. If I try to draw the graph of this will be, let's see, when x is equal to 0, what will be the value of y? When x is equal to 0, the value of y will be 1.5. 3 by 2, 1.5. So this will be 0, 1.5. This point will be 0, 1.5. Okay. Now see, when x is equals to, because we have drawn for x is 1. Let's see what we will get when x is equals to 1. When x is equals to 1 square plus 3, 4 plus 4 by 2. So when x is 1, this will be 1, 2. Okay. And when x is 3 square, 9 plus 3, 12 by 2, 6. So this will be 3, 6. Okay. So the graph will be, this will be somewhere this. So this is point here. This point is, so the graph is something like this. This is actually tallying. This graph is actually tallying the graph which we have plotted. Okay. This is the function. Now this is upward facing parabola. This is upward facing parabola. So this should be completely like this. This should be completely like this, right? But what we have seen is that here this y is equals to positive always. This y is equals to positive always. Okay. When we change it, so that means x should be always positive. When we change it, this y is, the range becomes the domain and domain becomes the range. So for this one, the range is positive. So for this one, the domain is positive. Understood? So that is why we will not draw the graph completely till. We will draw the graph only from this. Also, this is the graph like this. So only this part will be reflected. So this will move to infinity. This will move to infinity. Fine. Let's just check this one. Then I'll give you the next question. Okay, fine. Let's do the next one. The next question is a little bit tricky. That means because the function is divided into 2-3 parts. Okay, the function is divided into 2-3 parts. So the question is little bit lengthy, but if you follow the procedure, the question is very simple. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll follow the simple procedure. We'll divide the domain into 2-3 parts, and we'll try to solve the question. Okay, so the question given is find the inverse of f of x given as x for x less than 1, x when x is less than 1, x square when x is greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4, x square when x is greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4, and the third part is 8 root x when x is greater than 4. 8 root x when x is greater than 4. So you have to find the inverse of these three functions. Okay, so Darshan, are you solving? I can see you. Are you solving the question or not? Okay, I want everybody to try this question. Okay. So what we have to do is for different domain, we'll try to solve different parts. So first forget about the remaining two. Just solve for the first part. Second, forget about the remaining two, solve for the second. And the last one, forget about the first two and solve the last part. Okay. So first just solve this one. Write the domain and the range of this part. So let's take it part 1. This is part 2 and this is part 3. First let's take domain and range of first part, and then domain and range of second part, and then domain and range of the third part. I'll try to solve the first one. The remaining two I'll give you time, then you solve. Okay. So the first part, let's see for the first part. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll find the domain. So what is the domain? Domain is for x less than 1. So this is the domain. Okay. So if whatever inverse function I will find, for that function, the range will become, so this is the function f of x. Okay. And this is f inverse of x. So this is domain. So for f inverse of x, the range will become x less than 1. Domain will become the range for inverse. Okay. Let's see for f of x, what is the range? So this is x. So the range will also be same as the domain, because this is x. Whatever x will be, the y will be same. So this is range. The range will also be x less than 1. Understood? What is the domain? Same will be the range, because this is x. Whatever y will be, whatever x will take value, same will be the value of y. So what will be the domain of this one? This will be x less than 1. This domain becomes the range, and range becomes the domain. Okay. So first, this part, this is the first part. That means first part will be exactly same. First part will be exactly same as whatever we have got for the for f of x. So inverse of f of x, when f of x is equals to x, is nothing but x itself. Okay. The first part is quite simple. Now same thing, do the same thing for the second part. Find domain is already given. Find the range of the second part. Find the range of the second part. Okay, let's solve for the second part. So for the second part, okay, we have x square such that x is greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4. So for this part, this is the function f of x for x square, x is greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4. Fine. So that means the domain of this function, so f of x, I will write for the second part, the domain is x is greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4. Okay. So what will be the range? The range of this will become simply from 1 to 60. The range will become y is from 1 to 60. The range will become simply y is from 1 to 60. This is okay. Now, if I have to find the inverse, f inverse of x, the inverse of x, the range will become opposite of domain. The range will become the domain and domain will become range. So f inverse of x, what will the range? Range will be range will be less than equals to 1. So y less than equals to 1 and greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4. This will be the range. And what will be the domain? Domain will become opposite of this, means the same thing, but range will become the domain. So this will become x greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 60. Okay, so we'll get the opposite. The domain will become the range, and the range will become the domain for inverse function. Understood? Fine. So this is for the second part. Okay. Similarly, we can find for the third part also. What was the third part? The third part was given as 8 root x. So the third part was f of x is equals to 8 root of x, and x is greater than 4. Okay. So for f of x, what is the domain? For f of x, the domain is x is greater than 4, already given. X is greater than 4. So for f inverse of x, what will be the range? The range will be y greater than 4. The range will be y greater. Whatever the domain is will become the range for f inverse of x. Fine. Range of f of x. X is greater than 4. So when I substitute 4 here, this is 8 into 2, 60. So that means the range will be 16 to infinity, because as I increase x, this will increase. So 8 into root x will keep on increasing. Understood? So what will be the domain of f inverse of x? The domain of x inverse x will be exactly same as this one. So this will be x belongs to 16 to infinity. Till here everything is fine. So this is domain and range. So domain becomes the range and range becomes the domain. Domain becomes sorry, I have written it opposite. So this domain becomes the range, this thing, and range becomes the domain. Understood? Domain becomes the range and range becomes the domain. Okay. In this I have written just in front of this. So domain becomes the range becomes the domain. So till here I think everything is okay. I think everything is fine. Okay. Now see, we have just found out that what will be the domain and the range of the inverse function for different set of domains for the function which is given to us. Okay. So we have found out different sets. Okay. Now see, what I'll do is now I'll try to find out the exact inverse function in this part. Exact inverse function for the first part. So the function given is y is equals to x. Okay. So the inverse function will be y is equals to x itself. Okay. Y is equals to x is the function given for the first part. So this will be the inverse itself. Understood? For second part. This is the second part given. So we have for second part y is equals to x square. Y is equals to x square is the function given. So the inverse of this will be under root of y is equals to x, because positive. So we will take positive. Under root of y is equals to x, and x I will replace with y and y I will replace with x. So this will become y is equals to under root of x. So this is the inverse function for the second part. This will be the inverse function for the second part. This is okay. Fine. Now for the third part, we have y is equals to 8 root x. We have y is equals to 8 root x. Okay, so what I'll do, I will bring 8 this side and I will square. So this will become x is equals to y square by 64. X is equals to y square by 64. Now what I'll do, I'll replace x with y and y with x. So this will become y is equals to x square by 64. Y is equals to x square by 64. So these are the three functions, inverse functions, which we got for three different domains. These are the three different functions which we got for three different domains. This is for the second part, this is for the third part, and this is for the first part. Till here, I hope everything is fine. Till here, everybody understood what we are doing. We are just simply writing the three different sets, the inverse function. Three different sets for the inverse function. Okay. Now what we will do, we'll try to plot these three functions. We'll try to plot these three functions. We'll try to plot these three functions. Or firstly, what we can do, what we'll do, we'll just write this in one term. We'll write in this one term. So f inverse of x will be, let's see, the first one, f inverse of x, domain is from x less than 1. Domain is from x less than 1. So for x less than 1, what is the function? X. For x less than 1, the function is x. Understood? For second part. When domain is x is greater than 1 and less than 16. Greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 16, what is the function? Root of x. For x greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 16, what is the function? Root of x. So for x greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 16, what is the function? Root of x. Okay. Third part is when x, domain is when x is greater than 16, 16 to infinity. When x is greater than 16, 16 to infinity. What is the function? The function is x square by 64. Understood? The function is x square by 64. So this is the actual inverse of the function. This is the actual inverse of the function. And what was the original function? The original function was, okay. So original function was this first part. This was the function. So this is the inverse. Second part. This was the original function. So this will be the inverse. And third part. This was the function and this is the inverse. Okay. I hope this one is clear. Fine. Now, the interesting part is find out graphically whether whatever you have got this here is actually the inverse of this. And how can you find graphically? First, draw this function. On the graph. Then draw this function on the graph and check whether these both are mirror images of each other or not. Okay. First, draw this function, the original function on the graph. Then draw this function on the graph and check whether they both are mirror image of each other or not. Okay. So first, we'll try to draw this function on the graph. Okay. I'll give you 2 minutes. Try to draw these three parts on the graph. Okay. I'll give you a few minutes. Try to draw this part on graph. Okay, let's find out. Let's try to draw the graph. Okay, so first we'll try to draw the graph of this part, this particular part. Okay, the original function. Okay, so let's see. So first is that the function is divided into three different domains, three different parts of domain. Okay, so what I'll draw x and y axis. This is y axis, and suppose this is x axis. This is x, this is y. Okay, now see. First is for this one, for x less than 1. Okay, so let's suppose x is 1 somewhere here, x is equals to 1. So for x is equals to 1, y will also be equals to 1. Y will also be equals to 1. For x is equals to 1, y will also be equals to 1 because it is the line y is equals to x. This is the line y is equals to x. So the function will look exactly like this. Okay, till this part, the function will look something like this. Now, inverse of this will be this line only, because if I draw the mirror image of this line, it will be exactly this line. That is why we were getting the inverse of this part as x itself. Right? Okay, fine. So next part is x square. For x greater than equals to 1 and x less than equals to 4. So this point is 1, 1. This point is 1, 1. Okay. Now see, y is equals to x square. Y is equals to x square. What will be the value of y when x is equals to 1? 1 itself. So that means this graph will start with this point. This graph, the second part will start with this point. And till which point it will move? Till which point it will move? Till 16. Till x is equals to 4 and y will become 16. Understood? So suppose x is 4 somewhere here. X is 4. X is equals to 4 somewhere here. And y is equals to 16 is somewhere here. Y is equals to 16 is somewhere here. So and the graph of y is equals to x square is something like this. Y is equals to x square is something like this. Understood? So let's say y is equals to x square is something like this. Okay, so let's take x is equals to 4 here. X is equals to 4. So the graph will look like, so this is some curve. The graph will be some curve. What is this point? This point is 4, 16. This point is 4, 16. Okay, so the graph for second part, we have drawn the graph. So this is straight line, then it will be a curve. Then it will be a curve. Okay, this is looking like straight line, but actually it is a curve. It is something. Fine. So this is a straight line, then it is a curve. Okay, let's see. Now, next is 8 root x. 8 root x. So what I'll do, I'll draw small sketches. So this is x square. X square will look something like this. And root x, the graph of root x will look how? Just check it. Just check it. How will the graph of root x look like? The graph of root x will look something like this. The graph of root x will look something like this. Okay. So that means the graph of root x will look something like this. Okay. Now see, at what point? At x is equals to 4. At x is equals to 4, what will be the value of y? X is equals to 4. What will be the value of y? When x is equals to 4, this will be root 4. 8 into root 4 is what? 8 into 2. 8 into 2 is 16. So that means this graph will move something like this. Okay. So basically, the graph of the function which is given to us is this, then curve, then again a curve. Okay. So the graph is this, then there is a curve, then there is a curve. Okay. See, everywhere it is 1, 1. One value of x, one value of y, one value of x, one value of y. And from minus infinity to plus infinity. This will move on to plus infinity. Understood? Okay. Fine. Now see. I have to draw the graph of the inverse function. I have to draw the graph of the inverse function. Okay. So again, the inverse function is something like this. The inverse function is this. Okay. So I'll give you some time to draw the graph of inverse function. Now we know till x less than 1, the graph will be same. So what we have to check? We have to check for this part only. We have to check for this part only. Okay. So just check for the graph of the function for this part. Okay, just check for the graph of the function for this part. Okay, let's see. So basically, if we just look at this graph, the mirror image of this graph about line y is equals to x should give us the mirror image of this graph about line y is equals to x should give us the inverse graph, should give us the graph of the inverse function. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll start drawing this line y is equals to x. We'll start drawing the line y is equals to x and just simply draw the mirror image of this graph about this line. Okay, so this is something like this. So the graph will be something like this, and then it will move like this. Okay, so actually the inverse graph should look like straight line, then it should bend down, and then it should come up. And what should be this point? This point should be 16, 4 because mirror image, and understood? This point is 1, 1 and so on. Okay, so let's see if we'll get something like this or not. Okay, let's see if we'll get something like this or not very quickly. Okay, so let's draw the graph. So this is okay. So for x less than 1, this is x. For x less than 1, this is x. So suppose this is x is equals to 1. So this point will be 1, 1. Till here we are getting exactly same. Then it is root x till x less than equals to 16 and x greater than 1. Okay, so root x. So that means we know the root graph are something like this. The root graphs will be something like this. The root graphs will be something like this. Okay, and what is this point? 1, 1. When x is equals to 1, y will be 1. Okay, so the root graphs will be something like this. At x is equals to 1, y will be 1. So that means after this point, the graph will bend like this. After this point, the graph will bend like this. Till which point? Till which point x is equals to 16, what will be this point? This point will be y is equals to 4. So that means this is 16, 4. This point is 16, 4. Then after 16, 4, we have x square by 64. X square by 64 graphs, x square graph will be something like this. X square graph will be something like this. Okay, so let's see at x is equals to 16, what we will get? 16 square. That means 16 into 16 by 64. So 16 into 16. So we have 16 into 16 by 64. This will get cancelled. 4 4s are 4 16s are. This is 4 4s are 4. So this is y is equals to 4. That means at x is equals to 16, y will be 4, and then it will move upward. Something like this. Then again it will move upward to something like this. Okay, let's see. So this is the approximate graph which we should get. Let's see if we are getting the same thing. Are we getting the same thing? So till here it is a straight line. Till here it is a straight line. Then we have a bend. Then we have a bend, and then it is moving. Then it is moving. Okay. We can find this point of intersection also. So this is straight line. Same we are getting. then it is bent down, then it is bent down, then it is broken. Understood? So whatever we are getting by drawing the actual graph using the curves, same thing we are getting by drawing the graph using the image of this line, this graph about the line x is equals to. Okay. So I'll just show you. This part is okay. So I'll show you the slides once again. I'll show you the notes once again. Just take a screenshot, and in the end, I'll just discuss this part once. Okay. Okay, so I'll just explain once again. The last question, I'll explain once again very briefly. So the question was something like this. This was the actual question where what they've done is they have divided a domain into three parts. They have divided a domain into three parts, and the domain when they divided will be something like this. First part is this part, second part is this part, and the third part is this. Okay, so they divided the three domain into three parts. This is the first part till here. Second part is till here, and the third. So second part is till here, and the third part is after this. Understood? This is the third part. So what we have to do, we have to find the inverse of each domain separately. We have to find the inverse of each domain separately. How can we find the domain of? How can we find the inverse of each domain separately? We find the function, inverse function of each separate domain separately. We'll find the inverse also separately because the domains are divided. So what we'll do? First, we'll write fx and f inverse of x. So first one, the domain is x less than 1, and domain will become the range of the inverse function. So range will be x less than 1. Sorry, this is y. Sorry, this is y. The domain will become range. Second, the range is y less than 1. The range is y less than 1 for the first part. So this range will become the domain. Domain will become x less than 1. Okay, domain will become range. Range will become domain. Understood? And we also found the function, actual function. So y is equals to x for the function. So inverse will also be y is equals to x. Fine. Second part. For second part, this was x square. Okay. So for x square, the domain was given x greater than 1 and less than equals to 4. So this will become the range. So y will be less than equals to 1, greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to 4. Domain will become range. The range was from 1 to 60 because when I substitute 4, it will be 60. So now the domain will become 1 to 60. Understood? For the third part, we had 8 root x from x greater than 4. So for 8 root x, the domain was x greater than 4. So this will become the range. Range will become greater than 4. The domain was 16 to infinity. So the range was 16 to infinity. The domain will become 16 to infinity. So everything will just get changed. Okay. So what we did, we first drew the graph of the function fx, original function. Okay. When we have drawn the graph of original function, inverse function, how can we find? We can simply use the curve y is equals to x, and we can draw the image. So the image will be something like this. So we know that approximately this will be the graph. Okay. This will be the graph. Okay. But what we have done is, after finding the three different curves, I have written the inverse function also. Inverse function will be x less than 1, root x greater than equals to 1 and less than 16, and x square by 64 for x greater than 60. So what we have done, we have drawn this curve, and we have seen that this curve is approximately approximate similar to this curve. That means this is the inverse which we got is correct. Understood? Okay. So remaining part we'll do tomorrow. Okay.